What I'm trying to do is find out what that secondary audio source. Hey, Bob. Secondary audio source is. When I figure that out, we'll get rid of that echo. So, I'm gonna try calling this guy. See if that gets rid of it. Still got that echo. And this is the only audio source. I must have pushed some fancy button. Because it's even echoing me. Can't have that. Interesting. Tom, you got 30 seconds. Kill this guy. Yeah, that's my Chuck Connors rifle. This is my see that rifleman thing right there? That pond right there, Chuck Connors. Pretty cool. My son Jack got me that for Father's Day. The rifleman's rifle. It's a replica of it. A replica. No, it's not. It's fake. Not a real gun. It's like that kid walking through the highways. A few weeks, that's the one the city manager didn't tell us somebody was roaming the streets with a gun. Same thing. Fake gun. You walked out of Jake's with that. Shake things up a bit. Yeah. Don't worry. They won't let it out of the bag. So, Tommy, I'm going to put you on. Here you go.
You know the screen's off, right? Okay, there, we're back. Good. Good morning, everybody. And welcome to the September 30th, September's Gone edition of the Dawn Patrol. What a morning. Bob Hoey's back.
Yeah.
Bob Hoey's back.
Yeah, I'm back.
It's great to have him back. It's been a long haul and scary, but he's back. He's getting there. So welcome back, Bobby.
Well, thanks. Let me just say a few things about
Go ahead, buddy.
thanking everybody. It's incredible how many people came, prayed for me, sent me cards. It's unbelievable. You don't realize how many friends you have until you're hurting. But people were great. This guy here, he probably let them know every time I burped. I mean, you definitely did, but I just want to thank everybody real quick, whoever's watching this, but probably don't have too many watching, but I'll make sure I say my thanks. That's
Thanks,
all,
Bobby.
Tom.
Welcome back. And we have Bob Cox, the Bridge Club Director. Is that the right title, Bob? Director of the Bridge
Executive
Club.
Director, close enough. I'll answer to pretty much anything, Tom.
We have former Mayor Rita Mercier, but more importantly, the Chairman of the Bridge Club Board of Directors, the former Mayor. And she's up for re-election this year. And how's it going? You have a party coming up, I hear.
Yes, I have a party on Friday, October 3rd.
You're going to need Mr. Microphone in front of your mouth.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know that I have to repeat this over, but I am having a party on Friday, October 3rd at Mount Pleasant from 6 to 9.
Is this one of these come hungry parties?
Yes, please come hungry.
That's the only way McDonough's going. There's food.
That's right.
And
Stay early.
the donation is a whopping $10, and if you don't have it, still come anyway. We'll have enough food for you, so please join us. That'll be fun. We'll have a lot of fun. And I promise I won't talk too much, so that's fine. Yep.
And Bobby, we have a party coming up.
We do, actually. Next Thursday night, October 9th, we are at Lindsay's when we're honoring Karen Frederick as our Person of the Year this year. So we're excited about that. This is one of our annual fundraisers and one of the big events. And we've got one of our board members, Derek Sanderson, is going to be coming and speaking as keynote speaker. So Derek's always a hoot. You don't know what's coming out of his mouth. But he is a lot of fun to be around. And he's got a great story. More on a serious note. I mean, the man's got a real serious story when it comes to addiction recovery. He's really the epitome of getting knocked down and getting back up again. He's 43 years sober now. Tells the story, 16 detoxes he went through. And you talk about friends, Bob, sticking with you when you're down. He speaks about the stories of Bobby Orr staying with him, staying by his side having to pay for some of those detoxes for him to go through. And finding him on a bench in Central Park, you know, him and I believe it was Phil Esposito, went and found him when he was literally homeless, sleeping out on the bench in Central Park in New York City. Found him and took him, and he got him into his last detox, turned his life around. So he's got a real great story. He's, you know, he's just his hockey story speaks for itself. But I will say, Rita, and I don't think you know this either. And you mentioned your party at Mount Pleasant. One of the graduates of our culinary program is now running the kitchen at Mount Pleasant.
Oh, my goodness.
Michael Riley. Michael
Oh,
Riley
wow.
runs the kitchen there, and it's one of the graduates of our first program.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Richard, that is running that program up there, so I'm excited
Very
about that.
good, thank you.
I didn't realize.
That's great. That's great.
So many good things are happening at the Bridge Club. We do save lives. That's why I'm so thrilled to be chosen to be on the board, along with you, Tom. We do the best we can to save people's lives, and
Yeah, we're blessed. We have an active and, you know, a very engaged board. You know, they all get along, and everybody's there for the right reason. Everybody's, you know, very empathetic, as most people are, towards the mission, because in some way, shape, or form, you know, openly or not so openly, people have been touched by this. So it's an easy thing to get behind. It's easy to see people rally behind it and the reasoning behind it, so.
And Mike Riley's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Someone told me he had his own restaurant out in Chempstead or Westford. What it is in the summertime, he does cooking and for that, the old Wyman's Beach.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know how they have
Yeah.
mini houses out there
Yeah,
or small
yeah.
homes? But Mike Riley's top shelf, Bob. You hired the right guy.
Great.
He really is, you know, and I'll tell you that Summer Village, I believe, Bob, is what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Is really quite a place. And actually, just funny, because 2 weeks ago, this gentleman, Richard, that I had mentioned, is living in Drake now, and he's working for Michael Riley, not only at Mount Pleasant, but he also works in Summer Village with him. And he couldn't get to work, and Michael had called and said, hey, gee, you know, anybody around give Richard a ride to work? So I picked him up and drove him to work out in Westford, and I got a chance to go in and see Summer Village, the operation that they have down there. What a great little place, what a venue. Right on, what would that be?
Bob said Wyman's Beach.
Is that Long Stockport, though? Is that, what's the body of water there? Is that Long
Yeah,
Stockport? It is,
It
yeah.
was called Wyman's Beach back in the day.
Right.
I
But
remember going there.
what a real quaint little bar and restaurant area and beautiful beach area with volleyball and all the
Wow.
amenities.
I never
Really,
seen
really
right by
something.
it, yeah.
Really something. Really impressive.
Good trout, too. They
Welcome,
stock.
before we,
Yeah.
welcome Cisco Maldonado. How are you, buddy? How you doing,
How
pal?
you doing? Thank you for
So, good
having me.
morning.
Yeah.
This is an honor to be with you guys. The knowledge and the wisdom here, and Bobby's.
How are you there, Cisco? How you been,
Beautiful,
buddy?
man.
Oh, thanks. That's what a lot of people say.
yeah, I know, they're right.
So you got over a campaign. Unfortunately, you didn't win, but you put on a hard campaign, buddy. I mean, really got something. You
It was
just,
a lot of fun. I mean, I enjoyed it. It's a learning experience, and I'm looking forward to continually being involved with the community.
good for you. Don't give up, because none of those people that lost should could be ashamed of themselves. They give them a lot of credit. I mean,
It takes a village to raise, you know, a kid, right? So
Yeah.
the more people involved, the better the city's gonna be. I mean, especially now where we need more people involved.
well, you're getting some young candidates too. I mean, yeah, it's something. That kid McDonough's on fire.
He never gives up. Last night, we had a council debate, well, not a debate, they asked us to go there, and 8 of us showed up, and so did Francisco was there as well, watching in the audience to see if we were keeping ourselves saying the right thing. So it was nice to see you last night, Francisco.
It was nice to see you guys out there and still debating and still dealing with the concerns of the citizens. So, I mean, and that's the one thing I wish we had more involvement is engagement from the community, especially the voters. I mean, the low voting on outcome is pretty sad. I mean, you really gotta get involved, especially local. Locally, you have to be more involved.
And I don't think people have a right to complain if they didn't take like 15 minutes just to go out and vote. We offer many opportunities, many days that you could, it's not like you have to do it on this day at this time. You can go out, it's going to start like October 27th, whatever that is, on a Sunday. You
Early
can go to
voting.
the early
Yeah.
voting at the
Okay.
senior center. So there's really no excuse. We have mail-in ballots, we have every opportunity to vote, so you shouldn't complain if you didn't spend a few minutes to go out and vote for the people that you
And
think
it-
could
and it's
represent
so-
you.
It's so easy, it's so
How would
easy.
you know to vote?
How would you know to vote? It's on the website.
Okay, everybody goes to the website every day.
Can I say,
My day on lowellma.gov.
can I say something and correct something, a misstatement that you probably don't understand? Word came to me that you think that we don't offer meals to the seniors at lunchtime.
There's no truth to that.
Oh, there isn't. Well, then you know where it came from, but someone said that you were,
Then they're lying.
oh, well, can I just clear it up anyway?
Lowell's the only senior center that has lunch 7 days a week.
Yes, we do, yes, but someone told me you were concerned.
That person, they're a liar.
Oh, geez, a friend of yours too, but anyway,
He or she,
but I will say that we do offer meals to the seniors 7 days a week, like you said. The only thing that we stopped was the to-go containers for the meals to take out of the place. It seems that people that are seniors were going there, having their lunch, taking a container to go. When people come in, there's not enough food for everybody if they're taking it to go. But that isn't the real reason. They were taking 4 containers to go. They were leaving them in their car while they came back in the senior center. We don't want to create botulism and be sued as a city of Lowell, so we stopped the to-go containers. So you're welcome to come and have a meal, and if you can't even afford it, you could still have the meal. So I just wanted to clear that up. And, okay, I'm sorry, I thought that you had said it, because that's what I heard.
Before you leave, who the liar is.
No, I don't think I have to tell you that. I think you might know. Oh, okay.
Bob, do you have any comedians coming out there for your party?
Do I have
No,
no?
I was
Bob,
asking
Bob.
Bobby Cox.
Yeah, just Derek.
All right, that's good.
Doesn't really, the
'Cause-
St. Patrick's Day party, we do.
The
we bring a
comedian,
over,
And you're not,
just,
you're not having Rita out there?
We have Rita, we don't really need a professional comedian.
That's what
She
I'm
doesn't
saying.
realize
She's
how
hard to
funny she actually
follow.
is,
She's
but,
hard to follow.
Yeah, no, we got a pretty good lineup, so.
So, John, you don't think people, the general guy or person knows it's election time? The general,
How would you know to vote?
Try
I
to-
have a microphone today, but
how would I
How
know?
would you know to vote? Okay, you're inside, you got your ear to the rail, but you're next to a neighbor. How does he or she know to vote?
Where to vote or how to vote, or what do you mean?
When's voting day?
November 4th, right?
See, you don't even know.
Yes, November 4th on a Tuesday, that's a final
That's
election.
my issue, okay? And the city of Lowell.
We put signs out anyway to
I
know,
was gonna say.
Not,
well, we haven't yet, but we will.
for the preliminary election, you lost Corey Belanger.
Not because for lack of knowledge, people know.
How did people know to vote? Yet the city of Lowell.
Do you know to vote? Do you know to vote, John?
Yes, I do.
And how do you know how to vote?
Because my ear's on the rail.
Okay, so the
If
public.
your friends told you they went to vote and they couldn't vote for you.
Had many people say, I looked for you on the ballot and I didn't find
You
you.
think people are tuned in. My issue to you guys at the city administration is simply this. You people have the gall to call me 3 o'clock in the morning, tell me Uncle Tanu's is walking up Gorham Street with a purple hat, look out your window for him. Use the same system to say it's voting day. Text everybody. You text me 4 o'clock every Monday afternoon, put your trash in. Use the same technology. That's all I'm asking you to do.
And I don't really,
John, I've been involved in politics since I was 15.
Yeah?
Who was letting the voters know back when I was 15 it was time to vote? Because people voted, and a lot more people voted.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That's when we had a Lowell Sun that everybody bought. You get the Lowell Sun delivered to you.
No, I haven't.
I do.
You don't.
Online, that's it, yeah.
Do you think the
And I don't look at it, and I don't look at it every day because I'm sorry, it's junk, you know? I'm sorry.
The readership is gone. WCAP was WCAP back then. Now they have 4 listeners, one of them's Rita, the other one's Bud Caulfield.
I remember as a kid listening to Saturday afternoon candidates when they go on.
Cable TV's going right out the window. Everybody's cutting the cord. People don't pay attention like they used to. Signs used to say, vote for me November
right.
12th. Signs used to say that, they don't say that anymore. Just vote for me.
Okay.
No. Well, we have early voting, so you can vote for me anytime you want.
If they did all those suggestions you said about texting, phone calls, you think the voter increase would happen? You think the people would vote? What do you think, Rita? Think more people would vote?
Well, you know what? Whenever we
Voter apathy. They think that they can't make a difference, that's probably why.
That's it.
Text them and see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, a text, I like the idea of texting. It's the way of the future. If you can do it and it's not a big expense, that's not a bad.
Well, I get phone calls in Drake. I get phone calls from the water department. Let's just say they're going to have a water main break, or they're going to be doing some work in the area. I get those all the time. Or if there's a missing person, I get those in Drake. I don't know if Lowell does the same
Yes.
thing. Those seem to be helpful. You know, when people know, they'll say avoid this street. Don't go. We're going to be doing like sewer work, or water work, or something like that, or paving.
Why are you against them getting a text to vote for?
Oh, I'm not against it. I'm just saying, I think that people out there still would not vote. I don't think they.
I richly agree.
Yeah.
But they can't say I didn't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Many people told me they went to go vote for Rita Mercier. She wasn't on their ballot.
Yeah.
Well, I don't expect them to know the lineup of the ballot, probably, but I just want them to know that it's voting day. I'm not saying Rita Mercier is on the ballot or she's not. Once they get there, we didn't have enough people to form a primary for us.
Would you like to have had a primary, just so your name would have been out there? What's your opinion on a primary?
Well, it would have helped us to gauge if we have to work even harder.
Yeah.
I didn't have that gauge.
When you were first elected, how many votes did you get?
Ooh, I got like probably 10 to 12,000 votes.
How many do you get now?
Probably 2,000.
And you come in number 1.
No, I really don't anymore. I
Can
can,
I say you come in number 2?
Eric tops
Okay.
it.
How much did Eric get?
Not very much more.
Maybe 3,000.
Yeah, maybe 3.
So the 12,000 people.
I know, it's amazing. I don't know why that is.
Well,
I think
it's
it's the
just-
mindset. I
voter
think
apathy.
people who have the mindset to vote, they've been voting, like you said, Tommy, since you grew up with your parents voting and you
Your
watched it
father was a
happening.
city councilor. Imagine
Yeah.
the votes he was getting. Yeah.
You
But I
know,
mean,
a
we're
lot of
always
those,
under the mindset that of the voting is part of what you do. But people that aren't engaged with that, you know, they, like to Rita's point, they think that their vote isn't going to count. You know, they think it's beyond them or whatever the case might be. Those are the people you got to attack. That's where you go to increase the voters. You see spurts of it with grassroots campaign. Always where the grassroots campaign brings in new voters, right? Energizes the electorate and people, and you see that in local elections. But how to blanket it, John? I don't know. It's changing a viewpoint, how people look at voting and what the importance of it is.
a couple years ago, Drake came out and voted on Saturday. They had like less than 10% of voter turnout. You know, like John says, let's teach the kids in school personal finance. Well, I believe in that, and I think it should start at the 4th grade. And the same thing we should do with voting. It should be in the high school. Even if they don't vote, just teaching them, because younger people are not voting. And when I say younger, I mean 40-year-olds aren't voting. And all we ever depend on really is seniors, because seniors vote, and they still vote.
Yep.
But to me,
Yeah, that's the big, they always vote,
Yeah.
seniors, you know.
the young people don't vote.
Yeah.
But it becomes generational because the kids aren't seeing their parents putting any value on the voting, so why should they?
Well, I say that, I vote all the time. My boys vote all the time because they see me being involved in politics and
Yes.
they do.
right.
And like I say, example. You know, it's
Example.
just, yeah.
So
Yeah.
during the primary, I noticed that we had a lot of, not a lot, but you could see the parents that brought their children and they got their kids engaged early. You
That's
know,
right.
holding the kid by the hand and taking them to the polls was something I noticed that probably needs to increase. If you want the young generation, it has to start early.
Yeah.
It really starts. They know. The kids know. They observe all that stuff, and if they see that it's important for the parent to take that day and vote. I also think we should have a national holiday for voting.
And I'll bet you nobody had the guts to ask the Golden Man where the signs were for the preliminary election. Nobody asked him.
I just thought they were out.
Did you see them?
I thought I saw them in front of City Hall. I thought I saw one in front of the senior
All
center.
these electronic
Early
things. Remember all
voting.
the electronic things we had, Rita? Go get your COVID shot. Why didn't we use those signs? Administration wants to keep the incumbents in power. That's my answer.
Well, I will bring that up to him on a phone call.
Thank you.
I will do that for you, to
Thank
make
you.
you
I
happy.
mean, where we could use maybe some electronic signage so that people in the city will go by and see what's going on. We have a lot of events. I think if we had somewhere we could put a sign that people have access to or drive by frequently, that would, I think, would help the whole city, just advertising. There's still events that I go to on the weekends that are great, but they don't seem to have a turnout. I mean, if we can increase that, and that includes using it for knowledge of voting days and other events, I think that would be nice. But another cost.
Because you're seeing, at least we are seeing some younger candidates. The kid that was in the race, he was in your race, right? The
Yeah,
kid
Marcos Candido.
And you got McDonough.
Yep, and Sean McDonough.
And you had the kid that won the rep race, Tara Hung, and now we hear there's a young
Yeah.
person thinking to take a Rodney Elliott on. There's some youth out there that are at least getting it. Erin Gendron, granted she didn't win, but she was young. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a
no.
lot of young people entering the race now. I mean, I don't know how old Sixto is. Sixto to Jesus, he's basically a young guy, you know, and you're just seeing a lot of more kids, youth getting involved running, you know.
Yeah, it
So-
scares me, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
It scares me to death.
But,
Well, you were a kid when you first ran, so you know.
but do we find a disconnect between I guess Gen Z and our generation on values? Like, you know, it doesn't seem like they really value hard work and starting at the bottom and working up. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I've been noticing. It seems like they come in and, hey, I want to be in charge. You know, I got the education and I'm smarter than you and I should be in charge. There's no respect for, I'll
Work your
start
way-
at the bottom
Yeah.
and I'll work my way up.
Yeah.
And I will add to that, and I welcome the young generation to step forward, but when they're going around promoting that they will end homelessness, don't lie to me. Don't lie to the public. You're not going to be able to do that, especially single-handed. You're going to lower the cost of living. How are you going to lower the cost of living? Please tell me how you're going to do that. Single-handedly, you're going to lower the cost of living. It sounds so wonderful, and maybe people would believe that, but it's a lie. You're not going to be able to do that. I don't mind you running, but don't lie.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because right now people are looking for hope. There's a lot of people that are hurting financially that I know just, canvassing in the Upper Highlands. And when you see someone go out there and promise all this stuff, and realistically, we all want that, but it's just, unless you bring in a pot of gold to your platform or when you get elected, there's a lot of those things that are being offered by the young candidates are just not going to happen.
And I think you talk about the homeless, and I've talked about this many times on the show here, and I think you've got to separate the homeless from the drug addicts, because
Yes.
I'll leave here today and I'll go by Jay's Market, and they're all out there high as a kite. I'll always tell the story when I was a kid growing up in this neighborhood, and we used to call them, unfortunately, the term winos. They would have a drink a bar, and the paddy wagon would come PC them for the night.
paddy wagon.
That's what they called it. That's what they called it.
You can't say that anymore.
That's what they called it.
It's all right.
What do they call it now? What do they call it? It must be a name.
The wagon, the wagon, the wagon.
But
Wood police
now,
doesn't come till 7.
you lost my train of thought. But they don't. These people on drugs, drugged out. There's a difference. The homeless. There were some nice homeless people. I've seen them. They don't bother. They're not belligerent. But the ones on drugs, they scare people away, and they're high as a
right.
kite. Why aren't they taken in the wagon? PC. Now, I hear it. They're scaring all the time. They've gone to a woman's ODing on back Central Street. All of a sudden, Narcan, she's okay, she's going away, and she doesn't want any assistance. She doesn't want any medical attention. I just don't get it, but.
And you can't, they have rights, and if they don't want it, whether
No.
they're in their right mind,
Their
you
rights have been
get it.
extinguished by an executive order from the White House. You can pick them up anytime you want.
You know, the one thing that I know from being a police officer and seeing it firsthand is once the drug takes over, that individual, those decisions are being made by the drug, not the person. You know, you really, think that a child wants to steal from their parent. No, that's the drug. And I think we really have to work on sobriety by bringing someone in. And the only way you can control that is you got to take them away from the drug. You can't just enable them. You know, we're talking recently about injection sites. That's enabling. I'm sorry. I'm against it. I've seen it. You talk to me as a police officer who's dealt with people on drugs, and when I look at someone on drugs, literally I can see through their eyes, out the skull of their head, and there's nobody there. And those are the people that we're afraid when we encounter those folks on the street, and they're holding us to a standard that we have to give these guys every right to de-escalate, to avoid violence. But you're dealing with someone that's under the control of a drug, and the drug's running that body. And they're very unpredictable. And, the longer you drag things out, the more dangerous that person becomes. So, I mean, again, we need sobriety homes. We need people away from the environment. You can't just, give them the drugs and expect them to get off the drugs. Literally, sobriety is the only way, and it has to be a facility that's going to keep that person away from that drug.
Bob, how many people would you say, since the Bridge Club has been open, like all of a sudden walked into your place and said, I need help, and they continue to get the help, but they walk away after like 2 or 3 meetings?
Every day.
Every day?
Yeah, people walk in, I mean, it's, sometimes it's a process. Sometimes people get it on the first shot. Other times people have to fail and fail again, like Derek, we met it's everybody individually, and it's an individual decision that someone has to come to the point of a culmination of things, really. Unfortunately, self-will, really is not enough.
Yeah.
Well-intentioned people that want to help you and want the best for you, they could love you, as much as anyone possibly could. That's not enough. So it's, it boils down to that person, that individual making the decision, having the ability through whatever mechanisms, whether it's, going to a higher power, which is very often the final straw, where people reach out and look for help beyond themselves, beyond institutional help from doctors or therapists. And they seek it in areas like AA, like NA, in environments like the Bridge Club, like the Lowell House, now Riverbend. But, organizations like that are built around peer support, that, they're talking to people who have lived it, been through it, been to the point they needed help, and they received it, and now they're looking at a success story. Those are the people that people can cling to, and as an example, and that's where we see the best results.
And you've probably seen a lot of success stories, a handful of success, where they've continued and they've straightened out and they've...
A lot of those, and not as many, but a really depressing statistic about the number of people that come in, get well, go back out again, and because of the drug or the alcohol, they just can't bring themselves to get back into therapy because it's in their minds, and it's, that's the fight that they're fighting every day. There's a battle in their minds. I hate to say between good and evil. It's not that, but it's, it's that much of a drastic difference. And they don't make it back in, and we find them, for example, there was somebody found behind Towers News with a needle in his arm. There was a client at the Bridge Club for 3 years.
Oh, boy.
Went out, never made it back, and then found out, a few months down the road that they had found him dead from an overdose. It happens, unfortunately, too often.
Yeah.
Even though you can still get drugs in a prison, for 20 years I watched people come in, some of the worst cases you'd ever see in your life. 90 days later would have them back to normal. But to me, 90 days isn't even enough.
No, it isn't.
I think they need about a year. a year in a lockdown with a leg bracelet on in some type of halfway house. They
Right.
can't leave the house at all for about a year. You can straighten out most people in 1 year.
And when they go to detox, they go for 7 days. 7 days?
Yeah,
That's
you're not-
not gonna cut it. That's
No.
doing nothing for them.
Yeah, it takes some time. And some judges are real good at it, and they know how to lock somebody up.
And
for a
Rita,
while.
I know, no, you don't have the answers, probably nobody has the answers. You said about the youth, or the younger candidates talking about ending the home. What do you think can be done to end homelessness? What do you, I know you can't, you don't have the answer, but I mean, in your mind.
No, but people say, get the people off the street. I mean, it kills me to go by in a cold day, on a rainy, damp day, seeing them laying on the sidewalk. I can't handle it myself. I say, dear God, what, they don't need to be put in a housing. And I'm going to tell you that I made a mistake last night. I said about homelessness, and I say, a mentally ill person does not belong living next to your mother. I didn't mean it in the way, it's tough
I know.
to explain it when you only got a
Sometimes-
minute. You got a minute to explain
We
it,
all-
and the
we
time
all
goes
say-
by.
we all say-
But
yeah.
they wouldn't, I couldn't explain it because my
Right.
time was up.
Right.
People that are mentally ill, they can't take care of themselves, never mind putting them in an apartment. We don't know how if they're gonna burn the house down. I don't want them to live next door to my mother per se. To say that, they belong to be supervised so they can be monitored and be on their medication, and then they can function properly. They can't be on their own if they need medication and they're not taking it. That's what I meant. Now, we need a facility, we need a building similar to like Cross Point Tower, to put people and separate them. These are the people on drugs that need supervision. Because a lot of people that are mentally ill doesn't mean that they're drug addicts. They're probably not. There's many
You mean
types
the
of
homeless, right?
homeless.
I agree with you. Like, not all homeless are
There's
drug
the working
addicts.
poor that are
Right.
homeless.
Right.
These are the people I want to get them into a home that they can afford, that we can help subsidize them. They're the working poor. They're homeless. There's drug addicts that are homeless that will never, ever want to be put inside. They don't want to go inside. There are people that are homeless, that are on drugs and looking for help, and they go to the Bridge Club, and we help them the best that we can. You have to want it. If you have a homeless person that's on drugs, that thinks they don't have a problem, there's no way you're gonna help them. They believe they don't need help.
John had suggested, the Concord prison, right? You had
No,
talked
Berwick
about-
House of Correction has 600
Oh, that
empty
was Concord.
cells,
Okay.
ready to go. Everybody I know that goes to jail, they come out clean. They might go back to their bad habits, but they come out clean. The sheriff knows how to handle these problems. I know my friend Bob Cox says you can't forcibly do stuff. I don't know what the sheriff's doing so right, because those people come out of there clean, and they don't want to go to jail.
We have programs in the prison to help them to get off the drugs. I mean, you arrest someone, they committed a crime, but they're on drugs. We don't just lock them in a cell. They get their different
And with
treatments.
this executive order that I talked to you about a little while ago, a lot of people just in this democratic state want to ignore the presidential order that you can just take these people off the street and rehab them, whether they like it or they don't. When I'm drunk, high, you can tell me anything, you can sell me anything. I'm not myself. Those people who are out there that are drunk or high, you want to go for rehab? Not me, man. They're not in their right mind.
Do you want to give them housing?
I want to put
They
them,
belong in a
I want to
facility.
give them in a Billerica House of Correction, a jail cell, the help they need
That's
for as
right.
long as they need it, and then when they get out of there, they got to go find themselves a job.
Yes, I agree.
What's it
Well,
been?
what about, John, the homeless and there's got to be a percentage of the homeless
There's
that
a-
that
we
are not,
ignore the mentally ill, Tom.
but.
The
do you think-
mentally ill,
Okay.
well, first of all, I insist to every school committee person that makes the time to come in and visit us on City Life, you got to teach personal finance. Starting
agree.
in the 8th grade. You got to teach personal finance.
Fourth grade.
Okay, 4th grade, Bobby, I don't care.
I believe it.
We
at
don't
fourth
teach
grade.
it at all now. How did you learn how to save money, Tom? The hard way.
Yeah.
You made it up.
Yeah.
Rita, how did you get your
From
money?
my father. My father was from Poland. He had old-fashioned values. He said, "Don't you ever get a credit card. You're going to charge everything in sight. You'll be broke."
Bobby Cox, Bob, how did you get your money?
Bob,
What's that? I missed it.
How did you
Bob.
Get your money.
How did
What
you
money?
learn? How did you
What are we talking about? Are we on the same subject here?
so you didn't learn personal finance?
I worked for it. I worked for it. I mean, how did I learn personal finance? My brother, my sisters, I mean, people around me. Was I taught formally in school? No, I wasn't.
Okay, Mr. Hoey, how did you learn your personal
I
finance?
was brought up by a gambler. I was.
What are the odds of that?
Never taught me how to save a dollar. I just married the right person.
Cisco, how did you get your personal finance?
I tried to save and try not to buy stuff I really didn't need. And that was the only way we could purchase stuff. We didn't have credit cards, so you had to go out and save till you had enough to buy what you wanted. Or if you wanted something, you went out and collected cans or did shoveling and got the money so you get what you wanted. So you always worked for it. I mean, there's an opportunity for people to work for stuff. You also got to realize that you can't have everything, and some stuff takes a little time to get, but you can get it. You just have to work for it.
Well, back in the Wayback Machine, 1975, when I married my bride, we had a rule: for every $100 something cost, we have to wait a week to buy it. So you couldn't go, "Oh, let's get that TV, honey." No, that TV's $300. Gotta wait 3 weeks. And the 3 weeks would go by, and you know what? We didn't want the TV anymore. Just because we had the credit card in our pocket, we could have bought it that day. That saved us a ton of money.
Yeah.
Cisco, you made a good point about shoveling snow and cutting lawns. Do kids do that anymore? My son, Timmy, as soon as there was a no school bell, he'd be out there knocking on doors in the neighborhood to shovel.
Nowadays, they'll fall down on your sidewalk and sue you.
Nobody's doing that anymore. I used to cut lawns. I used to shovel snow. I used to rake leaves for neighbors. And you get $5, $10. But they don't do that anymore, kids, I don't think.
Tommy, you want to read these?
They should stop thinking and just try it. What harm can it do? Great to see Mr. Hoey co-hosting the show. Welcome back, Bob.
Thank you.
Great to see Bob back on the show, and Better Health, glad to have him back. Good morning to everyone else. Jeff Thomas.
I want to go back a minute about the homeless and the drug problems. I don't know if it's 30 or 40 years ago, but a lot of money was taken away from Danvers State Hospital, Tewksbury Hospital, Bridgewater Hospital. And if it wasn't for places like the Bridge and Bobby Cox, and my sister recently, the Project Compass, she's got rooms for women, 18 to 24. If you need a place, she's helped out over 80 to 100 people already. And more of that has to come, especially for women. There's so many places for a man to go. If you got arrested, there's jails and prisons all over the state. But a woman only has one place to go, and that's Framingham. And I've worked there. It's not a nice place. It's a maximum prison for females, and it's really nasty. But what Bob does and what my sister's doing, we just need more of that because the state's not going to invest in mental health hospitals like they did years ago. That's how I feel.
Tommy, you want to read this?
Bob, you should talk about a little bit about what Ronnie does, because that's a great program.
That's a great program.
Bob,
They're expanding now into Lowell.
Let me just read that for John. Our parents told us when it came to asking for money, nowadays that thinking is out the window. Parenting has definitely changed. Parenting.
Well, excuse me for having this voice, but I had some tubes down my throat for a couple of weeks. But my sister just opened a place next to Hafner's gas station here. It used to be, where they showered homeless people.
And they handed needles out.
They might have handled, she's not going to be handling needles out. But she does a lot for the Wish Project, making sure people donate clothes to those people. We have a lot of poor people in Lowell, let's face it. There's a whole lot of people with low incomes. I'd like to see the real number on how much the average income is in a household. I don't believe it's what they say. I believe it's under 40,000 myself, but that's a family of 4.
Just to jump on what Bob's talking about, Ronnie Hoey and her partner, they have a program out in North Chelmsford. It's one of the few programs actually that caters to younger women, And now they're catering to younger women with children. It's unique. It's not, you don't see that very often. I think back in the day, what was the operation up on Merrimack Street up by the Ocean Dock?
House of Hope.
House of Hope, right. That, those types of situations, those programs were around, and they're not as available. So, I mean, what Ronnie and
Bob
and
Aldridge?
her organization does.
What's the gentleman's name? Bob Aldridge? We had him on.
Dave.
Dave
Yeah,
Aldridge.
Dave,
He's
yeah.
working with Ronnie.
Yeah, Ronnie and Dave, and they're great. They're dedicated people, they have a great mission, and that's a program that really should be watched and taken advantage of and supported, because they do yeoman's work.
You know what I like about the bridge bomb? It's not just drugs. Alcohol is, to me, could still be number one issue in this country.
Yeah,
It's
well,
a
I mean,
very
it's
addictive
certainly my
thing.
issue, it's,
I had it in my family. I know alcohol can be serious.
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely, my wife lost two of her brothers to alcoholism.
Yeah.
And they got help. My brother-in-law, Pat, he actually straightened himself out. He moved to Florida where my father-in-law was living. He went out and saw him, and then all of a sudden he went down. It was wine. He started on wine, and unfortunately,
Yeah.
I personally think you have to handle alcohol abuse differently. And I seen it at work, and I just pull guys over and say, hey, you're allergic to alcohol. You can't turn it off. You can't be a normal alcohol consumer. You can't have one or two and say, I had enough, or, get to a point where you can stop. You're allergic to it. You can't turn it off. And some people have to go through their lives telling other people, hey, I'm allergic to alcohol. I can't use it. It's going to take your life away. And there are people out there that just can't turn it off and shouldn't drink at all.
Right.
Like,
And some try and it doesn't, like Bob said, they don't succeed, and they keep coming. It's an unfortunate thing.
To your point, a lot of people will say, yeah, I'm allergic to alcohol. Every time I drink, I break out in handcuffs. Tongue in cheek, but very true for a lot of.
Yeah.
So Rita, how do you feel? I mean, on this election, you
I'm
running
scared. I'm
Yeah?
scared. I'm always scared every
You should run
time.
scared. You should run scared every
Oh
time.
my God, now I learned last night that there's a write-in candidate who was at that, I said, why is this kid sitting there? He's sitting there because he was running as a write-in candidate. I didn't know they gave
For
him
city
a,
council?
yeah, for
Yeah.
at large.
Yeah.
So now he's running against me too, so.
For instance,
That's all right. That just puts you on point, gives you more opportunity to explain yourself and answer questions. I don't have a problem with people running as long as they're honest with the voters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all you
That's
want.
right.
And realistic, you know what I mean? And we got to inform voters. There's a lot of stuff you're looking for, but there's only so much that the government can offer you. You have to work for yourself. We can't have a country that doesn't work. That just doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to. I mean, I just see that trend. It's like I'm like these young adults don't understand that you have to start somewhere. You can't just go in and be the top paying person. Somebody has to be at the bottom and work towards the top. And it just seems like they don't get that, folks that I've dealt with.
your political career through, you're going to try it again.
Oh, no, I'm 2027, I'm back. I'm not stopping. I'm
Those
gonna
signs
be-
are in the garage.
I am looking, yeah, they're in the garage till 2027. I'm looking forward to the next 2 years to engage with the community and learn how to speak and come here to
You put on a great
perfect the
campaign.
trade of being
Yeah.
a politician like Rita. I'm like, she just a knack for talking. I'm always in awe when you speak. You always seem to get your message across to the audience without using those fancy words that some of the younger generation kids with nice college degrees have,
Thank you, Francisco. I appreciate that. I just don't want people to say, oh my God, she's getting so old. We're going to give her a rest. It's up to the guy upstairs. If he wants me to be there, the voters will vote. If they don't, then it was meant to be. But I hope they let me have another chance.
Now, if you, well, there's two things I want to say. First, I heard that Dan Rourke has already made his interest in being the mayor again. My
Yes.
second question is, if you do win re-election, would you be a candidate for mayor? Or would you be with Dan or somebody else? Not putting you in a spot here.
Yeah, I would like to say, this is my last term, and I would run for the mayorship.
Okay.
But I'm not saying that.
No.
'Cause
How about Vesna? What do you think Vesna will say?
Vesna probably wants it, but here's the thing. I know that Danny Rourke wants it again, so I wish him the best of luck. I'm not gonna go for it.
Sure.
I'm not gonna go
Okay.
for it.
Okay.
Because I'm hoping that I can run in 2 more years if I'm lucky enough, but
Oh, so
anyway.
this won't be, if you win, you're not, this isn't your last
I
term?
don't- I
Did
don't-
everybody say this is your last?
I'm not saying that yet.
Well, we need your wisdom.
Thank you.
I'm going to vote for you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to endorse a few candidates that I'm voting for, and I've said to people, go out there and vote for the person that you think is going to give you the most, and be selfish with your vote. That was something I ran on, and I truly believe that. I mean, go out there and vote for the person that you think is going to give you the most. And Rita, you've been here for a long time.
You need-
You know how the city works. You know who to call, and you got my vote.
Okay.
You know,
Thank you so much.
They're gonna, Rita wins, which I think she will. People like, I always forget, what's the kid's name that won your, won on it?
Marcos Candido.
Him, McDonough, they're gonna need her if they win, as the elder statesman, to guide them, to help them out.
That's
I mean,
right.
Yes, really, I mean,
It's called
Rita's-
experience.
Tony Achinsky talks
Rita's
about it.
the
when
only
he-
one who can tell them, you're lying. You can't do that. It can't happen. The wisdom that she brings to the table, nobody else has. We're foolish not to vote for Rita Mercier. Read these, please.
Another
Thank you,
thing you can
Mickey.
learn in prison is how to be a better criminal. We learned from our mother how to save money, and both our parents taught us to work to earn it. Government has to support business creation, a creation model. So, and Tony Achinsky talked about, he's a veteran selectman out in Drake, and he talked about, he walked into his first term. Did you serve with Tony? You didn't serve with Tony.
Sorry?
Did you serve with Tony?
I did, yep.
Yeah, and he said he walked in, he had whoever the senior selectmen were at that time, he had to turn to them he didn't know what he was doing at first. Nobody does when you walk in, but unless you're there for a while, and
Well, the people on the board then were, Jimmy O'Loughlin.
Yeah.
Joe DeRocco. Joe just got off. I mean, people that have some experience. I mean, Drake, it's always been loaded up. I mean, Warren was on for, 24 years, and,
Yeah.
Before him, it was Charlie Daney and Jack Lyons, and, guys that,
I lost Charlie Daney a few weeks ago. Great
Yeah,
guy,
yeah,
great guy.
unfortunate.
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
there a Ray Willett?
Doug Willett.
Doug Willett.
Dougie.
Doug
24-hour
Willett.
selectman.
24-hour selectman.
Doug Willett.
You're the 24-hour, I'm telling you.
Yes.
He would be anywhere, do anything.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
he was
get a call
wonderful.
from him on Sunday night. I get a call.
Yeah.
Used to show up at my mother's house with bags of tomatoes from his
Yeah,
dad, and he'd
yeah.
be out there, have like 30 bags of tomatoes if you'd be driving around and handing them out.
Oh, man.
He was quite a character. But
Yes.
you know what? There's a guy that, he dedicated his life to the town.
Yeah.
Drake has been fortunate, and Lowell's been fortunate. And, that a lot of people that's what it takes. It takes someone that's dedicated, that, puts their life on hold to a certain degree.
Yeah.
And makes a priority out of what they're doing politically for the betterment of the community. It's, those people are few and far between. And I think Rita's one of them. I'm not just saying because you're sitting there. I think that's been your legacy, speaks volumes.
Jesus, I feel like I won already.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Virginia. Cisco
He
with
gave you
you.
$20 on the way in
Well,
to
you-
say that.
Yeah, the buddy under the table here, give me a little more.
Hey, Bobby, hey, Bobby.
No, I think you've earned that respect, and thank you for the years of service, and we want you to continue serving. Unless you lose your mind, then
Yeah.
then we'll get a wheelchair for you.
They did say to me, when are you going to realize that it's time to hang it up and not be a city councilor anymore? I said, well, I will realize that on a Tuesday when I'm all dressed up and I don't remember where I'm supposed to go. I will quit. That'll be it.
That would do it.
Yeah. Now, how many, say if you win this time, how many terms will that be?
So I am
What are you
on
finishing up your?
I'm on my 30th year now.
Wow,
So
15
if I,
terms.
Yes, and I'm not the longest, it's Richard
Big
House
house. It was
Senior,
40 years,
40,
right?
40
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make that.
You never know.
No, I'll be 150. I mean, I'll be walking in with a walker, so.
That was the first time I got elected, is when Rita got elected, 1995.
Oh, the school
I got
committee.
elected to the school committee. And the person that deserves all the credit is her husband.
Yes, he's
I don't
right.
care. I was on the corner with him one day in Centerville, and he had a bumper sticker that was slapping off his forehead. I mean it. I never laughed so hard in my life. That guy had her name everywhere.
He was
Oh,
amazing.
boy.
So Bobby, and I know what the answer to this question is, everybody's been asking me, are you still
Oh,
on the
yeah,
school
I'm
committee?
still in the
Okay,
race.
good, because
That's
everybody's
why I
asking me. My brother called me last night, he says, Bobby, I actually called him to tell him you're going to be on this morning because he watches.
Well, I've been involved. This will be my 8th election, okay? And don't feel bad about losing city council. I've lost that 3 times. And you always know the issue that killed you, because I wanted a drug test policeman. That killed me. That just wiped me out. I had no chance of winning. But I didn't raise money either. You needed at least 10 grand, roughly. That's about a
I agree,
good
Dan.
amount.
I agree.
But I've won the school seat 4 times. I've never lost it. So I said, I'm not giving up now. Right now, the schools are in tough shape as far as I'm concerned. The number one issue I will deal with is make sure a kid can read at the first grade level. There's a first grade level of reading, but we keep sending them to the grades. When they hit the 4th grade, now the kids that can read, they got to follow those children that can't read all the way up, and I was one of those children. All I did was disrupt the classroom. They talk about discipline. It's not discipline. It's teach them how to read as soon as we can. That would be my number one issue. I got many more issues, but the high school is a big issue to me.
You can see-
I hope the city council and the mayor, I've been in his office about 3 months, 4 months ago. Please save the old Lowell Trade School. We need that for the school system, without a doubt, we need that. For special ed. And revamp the whole high school special ed program. I would go in there, my policies would be to turn that place upside down on special ed. Because we sent all these kids all the way, there's about 3,200 kids at Lowell High School. And believe me when I tell you, 2,200 are fine. They're gonna go in some great places. I seen what happened to my granddaughter with 11 other children. They came from the Pine School, went into Latin Lyceum. They're all engineers right now, every one of them. Out of the 11 kids, they're all engineers. But the 1,000 kids that I'm talking about are just like I was in high school. And I dropped out my junior year. Imagine that, I'm a dropout and I got elected to the school committee 4 times. Well, you know why? My passion for it, I thought, rubs off the people. You know, I know how much I'm involved in schools. Now, I just want to say this about elections. I talk to a lot of kids in their mid-40s. My children are that age. And all they say to me is, it's all smoke and mirrors. Why do you care? I said, well, what would happen if we didn't care? You got to have a group of people that care. So I think this city council, by the way, Rita, is the best one I've seen in my lifetime.
I agree. I think I'm very much in agreement with you.
And I got
They're
to say
wonderful.
this, I've seen a lot of mayors.
Danny Brooks surprised a lot of people, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Oh, I thought
didn't
it-
think at first, but he's done, he's run those meetings, I watched him. I'm a
He's done it.
political junkie, so I do watch him in Drake, they have him on in Drake. He runs those meetings.
Yes, he does.
man,
Yeah. He's very
It's
good.
Bobby,
not,
as
it's
we
not
talk-
so much the way he runs a meeting to me, it's he saved the school system, which is to me the most important issue in the city of Lowell. Without schools, you might as well fold your camp up and go home. And when he came in, right away, he pushed to hire Liam Skinner.
And
It was the
I was
best thing
glad
I've
you
ever
brought
seen.
that up, because I've talked about this for a year now. I think Liam Skinner now, we're gonna be looking for a new superintendent. They gave him I'm not happy with him on the school committee, and remember we talked about this, how many,
Yeah, but if you can remember, the last school committee was going to search the world for a superintendent. And I look at Robin Desmond, she didn't get one vote.
Yeah.
Oh, she
I
was
couldn't
great.
believe it.
Robin
Couldn't believe it,
Desmond,
not one
wonderful.
vote. She didn't get a look, not a look.
She was wonderful. She's not even here now. Where is she?
She's in
Methuen,
Leominster? I don't know
Yeah.
what she's in.
somewhere
Leominster,
else.
yeah.
Is it Leominster?
Yeah.
I was gonna Google it, yeah.
She's wonderful.
Yeah, well, I say her claim to fame to me was being a big advocate for the After Dark program. For those children I'm talking about at the high school that are going to go nowhere, They go into the high school at 10 o'clock in the morning. At 1 o'clock, they get out of school, get on a bus and go out at the Voc, and they teach them carpentry and welding and things like that. We need more of it. There's no doubt about it.
We also need jobs. I mean, these kids, we were talking about on finance. I think one of the big things of finance is a young kid getting a job for his first time and getting a check and getting money and get a feel for if you work, you get money and you can get things that you want with that money. And if you start that early, I think, it builds some incentive for those folks to continue working and looking for bigger things that they want.
Yeah.
But it starts early. We really do need more jobs, summer jobs for the kids, and we need to get them employed early
Well,
so they have it.
don't look to government for help. Look to small businesses and say, look, can you hire 2 kiddos for the summertime? You got to look to small business, because the government is not here to help you. The government's here to help themselves. And the sooner you realize that, you're going to get a lot better off. If I waited for the government to help me out on every single project and to help with, I'd have a lot more grass growing through the cracks in the parking lot.
But the government needs to help some of the small businesses too, and they're
The government
trying
needs to stop
survive.
hiring people. The government has
Yeah.
too many employees.
I agree, we need to cut back, but you gotta start somewhere, I think it's government's job to help people that need help. I mean, we're
Both-
talking
both
about the
the
homeless.
City
we're
and
talking
state,
about
city and
young
state
kids.
government, when somebody retires, they need to prove to the voting public why they need to rehire a person. Why do they have to replace that person? Because City of Lowell, I love to use the horse trough. Years ago, when everybody had a horse, the City of Lowell actually had a full-time employee. Their job was to fill the horse troughs, make sure they had water in them. After the horse troughs were gone, we still had that position. Why? It still even happens through today. When somebody retires, and I'm not looking to fire a soul, but when they retire, it's time to look at their position and say, okay, do we really need this person? Do we really need the horse trough filler?
And you're seeing that, we haven't even talked about Drake at the cell, but I'm seeing that in Drake now. There's positions, Bobby, in Town Hall where they're combining departments, eliminating positions. I know Dave Ouellette's retiring next July. I've already had 2 people approach me as to who's going to get the job. I don't know if she might do something different. She's already making some changes. And I think this town manager that we hired is doing an excellent job, far more than I thought. When I was on the search committee with Brian there. And she is just, she's doing she does her homework. She knows what she's doing. I mean, we have some unfortunate stuff going on in Drake right now that's beyond my imagination. To talk about a recall for some of the school committee people, and it's just, but she's what they call like Dennis Peendeck, Bobby. She's not a politician. She's not getting
Yeah,
involved.
she's definitely not. Dennis
Yeah.
wasn't either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like Dennis. She was
Right.
like, yeah.
But the you look outside the box, Tommy, to your point, the regionalization, the combination of services, VSO, as a matter of fact, they just combined the VSO, the Veteran Service Officer,
Right.
for Drake
Yep.
with Tingsboro.
Yep.
That's looking at it, in an intelligent manner and making the best out of both worlds, combining one position into 2, or excuse me,
Right.
2 into 1, providing the same level of service, as long as that's being maintained, it's a win-win,
Right.
so.
We've had a lot of retirees, and like I said, they're looking for they're advertising for, I believe, a town treasurer / no, we already have a chief financial officer, but the town treasurer, they're advertising between 95,000 and I think 140,000, because it's going to be based on experience.
Right.
And, we'll see what happens. I mean, it took them a long time to get a CFO.
Right.
So I don't know what's going to happen, so. But, yeah, we didn't talk about Drake at all.
What happens tonight, at midnight tonight.
What's that?
It's going to change the whole dynamic tonight if the government shut down.
Oh, yeah,
Is
yeah.
it a bluff? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it is.
What a bunch of baloney that is.
Well, we'll
They're
know
all
tomorrow,
going on
because
vacation. They're all gonna get
Directly tied
paid.
in with some of those programs.
Jeez.
They're all going to get paid, they're all going on vacation,
Yeah,
they're going to
Yeah.
love it.
yeah.
They go see the fall foliage, they're going to have a wonderful time, and they're going to get paid for it. Good job, federal government.
Well, the fallout, especially if it happens tonight, with the federal money, is going to affect the nonprofits in the area, without question. I mean, the initial cuts did affect a lot of the nonprofits. Now the money from the federal government that's been taken away from the states, has now trickled down into Massachusetts. We've been affected by that at the Bridge Club to a degree. But now these federal funds, which control all the veteran services grants that we're under, it's been a wait and see. We may be forced to pivot and make adjustments. I mean, to keep the doors open. So
Yeah.
we'll have to do what we have to
gonna be
do to make it
interesting.
work. But fingers crossed that they'll work it out prior to the shutdown.
And I guess I just briefly looked at the Sun online this morning. There was a meeting yesterday, I guess, between Trump and Jeffries, is that his name, and the Senate minority leader. But yesterday, nothing came of it, I guess.
I feel that our Congress is disconnected with the people at the bottom. I mean, they don't understand the effects they're doing to people that are just living check to check. And it's shameful that the people that we've elected don't think of the people at the bottom anymore. They're just making decisions that I just don't know. I see America going way off track of what I thought America was. And I really thought we value people coming to this country and getting a kickstart and giving them the opportunity to be, one of those success stories that make the American dream possible.
All right, so we're going to go to break now and come back with City Life.
I'll be back.
And giving them the opportunity, one of those success stories that
Moses. Never seen so many birds on a roof.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the September 30th edition of City Life. September is ending. We're going into heavy fall. It's going to
Yep.
be cool the next couple of days.
Yes,
but
it will.
Before we even start the show, welcome back Bob Hoey. Bob
Yes.
Hoey's back.
Yeah.
Bob's been having
Thanks,
torn line here.
Thanks.
Thank God. Thank God.
You just almost touched my Remy on the back of my
Oh,
head. You see, I had a brain bleed also.
So, Bob, I'm glad you're
But-
back. And
Well, thank
you're
you.
looking good.
Yeah, you
you're a
look
little hoarse,
wonderful.
but that's okay. We
Let me
understand
just
that.
say this, from my friend Bubba Jermaine that works for John. He was the one with me. We were in St. Patrick's Cemetery at the time putting flowers around a gravesite. And then I didn't feel good. I said, hey, Bubba, I don't feel good. Before you know it, I was out cold. So he won't take credit, but between Bubba, the ambulance drivers, the EMTs, Lowell General putting me on a machine to get me to Tufts in time, that's who saved my life.
Wow.
But what I love about people, the prayers that are sent to you in cards, like the Fallons, Mr. and Mrs. Fallon, both over 90-something years old, sending me multiple cards, and the
Yep.
prayers I got. And John McDonough, I mean, I told my friends know everything about me.
Facebook helps a lot, Bob.
Yeah, they know everything about me, so thank you to everybody that sent their prayers to me, and I appreciate it, and I'm getting a second shot at life.
Glad to have you back, Bobby.
Yeah, nice
Cisco
to be back.
Maldonado, you ran a great campaign. Unfortunately, you didn't win, but you said at the first part of the show, the first show, that you're going to be back. So
Yeah,
that's good.
2027.
Nothing to be ashamed of. At least you
No,
ran.
no, I thought we,
Start now. Start
yeah,
now.
no, we're starting now. We're on 2027, my name will be on the ballot again, and we'll try
District
to.
or citywide?
No, district. I like to continue district unless things change.
Yeah.
But I like to just continue working with that Upper Highlands neighborhood group and the folks I've met. I'm committed to trying to change Lowell for the better. And not that we're in a bad spot right now. We're doing really good in the city. I'm just focusing more on the little things that they're complaining about, the sidewalks, the asphalt and stuff like that. I think, and concerned that there's a lot of development that we really got to have better oversight on, just because I just know that if you're building something on a poor foundation and that foundation gives in, you're not going to have a good building, you know?
Great. And Rita Mercier, who is going to be, if she does win re-election, be starting her 16th.
When she wins.
Right.
When she,
No, she's gonna win.
16th term.
Oh, boy.
Right?
I'm always
You're gonna start
nervous.
your 16th term.
I
right?
just don't want people to say, oh, she's over the hills, let's get rid of her.
Excluding you from the bunch, and don't say names. Do you think there are some incumbents in trouble? Don't say names. Just you think there are.
Tell me, I got leftover text from the last
I
hour.
really can't say that I see anybody in trouble. We have a wonderful city council. I'm not going to
Okay.
deny that.
All right. So you think we're going to have the same 11?
I think
No,
so.
the daggers are out. I could,
Desi has control of academics, not the school committee. Where are the donuts this morning? Tom really knows one for the team. Tom is going to have to show up on Thursdays for Evelyn's homemade baked goodies.
Oh, that's cute.
Best statement of the day, Mr. McD, less government is better. Home run, Tom. Drake, town manager, has to unravel a mess left from the ex-town manager and assistant town manager.
that's it, thanks.
So,
So Rita,
Yeah,
when you
excuse
get
me.
back in there, where do you think the city's gonna go? Are the homeless coming back on the 5th? What are your thoughts? Because that's what I tell everybody, the homeless are coming. Don't worry, they'll be back at Jay's on the 5th of November.
Oh, boy.
Did you go to the Owl Diner this weekend?
Couldn't get in.
Sunday, I went down there, and they're laying all over the streets
same
again.
here. I was
Terrible.
there
All
2
over
weeks
the
ago, my
streets.
grandkids,
And it's
awful.
election season. Wait till November 5th.
Poor Tommy Shanahan, what he's going,
That's terrible.
yeah.
So the opportunities, I continue to talk about the homeless, so I'll drop that case, but what do you think's going to happen November 5th? Do you think the
November.
city will continue to get the homeless off the streets?
We're working very hard. That's why
I know, and we've been doing that for 20 years.
Yes, we need help from higher office people
Sorry.
with the money. We got to get them off the street through a facility that can monitor them and clean them up. I don't know that we could do that to some of them because they don't want help.
Well, with this executive order, they lose their rights. Something that the Democratic state should study, but the Democrats lockstep with the governor want, lockstep with the governor.
See, I have that attitude where I want to force them, give them an ultimatum, but sometimes you have to, but people are saying, well, they have rights, they have rights. It's like saying to a woman that has 7 kids with 7 different husbands and she's going to have more, let's tie her tubes. You can't just do that. Just like I equate that with the homeless. You want to do it, you feel like that's the only alternative, but they have rights too, and we have to honor that. But do they have the right to want to hurt themselves? I guess they do, I don't know.
I remember
but
when there
other-
was discussion about, not to interrupt you,
Okay,
Cisco,
no,
about
go,
the
Tom.
homeless thing, and they were, when they were tearing down the camps, is that what they call them?
Yes.
And people say they don't want to go into shelters.
They
They're
don't.
used to living out.
Too
They're
bad.
afraid to go into the
Too
shelters.
bad, they can't live.
Because they can't
On
do
the
the
block.
drugs in the shelter, and that's what they want.
They
I'm
can't-
sorry.
They want to keep their lifestyle. Shut off their EBT card.
But we talk about their rights. How about the rights of the
Yeah.
other citizens?
Your
We have
rights
to-
end when
Yeah.
they infringe upon mine.
Exactly.
I want to stop the show.
Oh,
This
I'm
is a
sorry.
show-stopping picture of Rita Mercier over in
City Hall
Greece.
behind her?
Yeah, that's City Hall.
think
That's
she's-
the Pathodon. That land is the Acropolis, but the building at the top is the
That is the
Pathodon.
best picture I have seen of you.
Oh, dear
It
God.
really shows your beauty like
Oh,
none
my
other.
goodness.
She
Thank
looks
you.
happy there.
Fantastic shot over in Greece, and I'm so
Yes.
glad you went.
See what happens when you leave.
How many countries have you been to?
Oh, I've
See
been,
what happens when you leave Lowell? You leave Lowell, you get happy. Look
I
at
haven't
that.
been in Canada. How many countries have you been to?
I've been to
Cambodia,
India, Cambodia, Thailand,
Thailand,
uh,
now Greece.
Greece.
Yeah.
And while I was
Ireland?
in Greece, we went to Geneva, Switzerland from there, and because we had that
Right,
conference
yeah.
with the front runner
Sure,
at the
sure.
Geneva UN nation, and then we went to France. France was only an hour and a half away.
Wow.
And so we went to the closest place in
been to
France. No, but
You've been
that's
to
the next
Poland.
one.
You're a Polish
No,
lady.
I haven't,
Oh.
and I should. I almost did.
So, yeah, because you're traveling, that's
I
great.
got my daughter.
That's great. That's
She's
great.
my traveling
That's great.
partner.
So you got the bug. Are you going back to Europe? I haven't been there, but it's on my list.
Well, McD, I went with your family, and we went to Monaco,
we had a ball.
Turkey, Istanbul, Spain.
Oh, you on a cruise with him? Yeah?
Yes.
We had a ball.
Yeah, it
Good
was
time.
wonderful.
Good for you.
The
Life's
Rome.
short.
Glad I went when I
London.
went. Glad I went when I
It was
went.
wonderful. Thank you.
Times have changed.
Yep, yep.
So it's an opinion hour, right? We can give an opinion on
Yes, you
something?
can. Go ahead.
Well, I want to go to your election, the citywide, you're in the citywide council
Citywide.
race. I believe Eric Gitchell will top the ticket. I think
he
you'll
will.
still come in second, you will.
Oh,
And I
gee.
think Vesna's in trouble. And the reason why I think he's in trouble is you had a lot of Hispanic people that run this year, like the gentleman next to me, and there was a few more, and I haven't been around for about a month and a half.
Where you been?
But I've been in 1 month,
been
I've been in
observing,
1
yes.
month in the hospital at Tufts.
Yeah.
But this 6-2, am I pronouncing it right, Tom?
Sixto.
Sixto.
I can never say this last
I-
name.
I've known
Jesus.
One at a time,
Oh,
one
I'm
at a
sorry.
time. That's
That's all
all
right.
we gotta
I
police
have
them.
known him for quite a while, and he really is a nice person.
Yes, he is.
I'm not saying he knows all the issues, but I got a feeling he could be a sleeper coming in third. That's all I want to say
He is a
about that
wonderful young man.
race. Yeah,
Yes,
if I
he
was
is.
in third spot there, like Vesna, because last time, you remember, I'll never forget, the best subcommittee meeting I ever seen was yours, the neighborhood subcommittee meeting. You were the chairperson, Eric Gitcher was on it, I believe Janess was the other one on it. I watched that, and I'm telling you, I never seen a meeting so, a subcommittee that well. And that's where I seen your eyes open the size of $50, because that's kind of when Eric gets you lit a fire under your chair. And you, not that you're always not awake, but that seemed to me personally woke you right up. And if you remember, the election last year was all made in Belvedere. There's no doubt about it. You came in second, and I believe you're going to hold second again. But third spot, I would be nervous. If I was in third spot, I'd be knocking as many doors as I could be. you have no problem coming in second this year.
Oh, I hope you're right, Bobby.
Well, that's
I
just
hope
my
you're right.
opinion.
And I think
how
that's,
feel.
I think that Cisco seems to be putting on quite a campaign citywide, from what I see over in Pawtuckaville with a lot of signs and all that, so he's working at it, you know? And
Well, you know what I'm glad to see? City councilors that don't have a race holding signs for another city councilor. I'm glad they're not doing that. And I think that that's the third rail you shouldn't touch. Your colleagues out running for re-election, and you're holding a sign for the Antichrist. I just don't think that's the right thing to do, so I'm pleased that the city councilors that don't have a race are just pushing back.
Could I ask
think-
my colleagues here on this panel who they think will win in District 3 in Belvedere, Belinda Duran or Dan Finn? Do we have an opinion, an idea?
who I think will win?
Yes.
Belinda Duran.
Bobby,
Dan Finn.
Francisco?
I'm going to go with Dan Finn. I mean, the name has done a lot for Lowell, and
What's
I
he
mean,
done?
Mickey Finn.
What's he done?
Well, Mickey Finn, his dad
No,
was.
no, what's Danny done?
Danny hasn't done much, but his father.
Okay,
has
I
a lot of folks
understand,
that
I
are-
understand who we voting for.
But that's just human nature.
I'm a Belinda guy, because Belinda can read and process the budget, and I don't think Finn can.
You can't vote for him, by the way, but that's okay. Dan Finn.
Thank
did-
you, communist.
Well, I'm telling you, I know what I told Dan Finn, and it's because of his father. I'm glad you said that, Mickey Finn.
Good guy.
Most of us love Mickey Finn. So the guy's from a great family. And I said to Danny, Danny, you'll never win this race if you don't knock doors. And he knocked a lot of doors in Belvedere.
Nora's getting them all the votes. Nora's,
Well-
if he didn't have Nora, he wouldn't have won the
If you
primary.
look-
Now, going back to that, Bobby, and the question was who I think will win, who I'd want to win would be Finn, because you've told me so many good things about him. Mickey Finn was a great guy. I remember Mickey.
Yeah.
I really thought that race was going to be Gendron and Finn, but this girl seems to came on like gangbusters, and I think she's going to win the thing. That's what I think. It seems that she came out of nowhere.
What happened?
Did anybody know who Belinda Duran was a year ago?
No,
Like,
but you know what happened during the preliminaries? That they engaged on a lot of the nonprofits to get their followers to go out and vote, and they did a really good job. In my district, Marcos had a bunch of texts and phone calls going out during the election day.
Marcos has the machine. He's got the
preliminary.
Democratic City Committee.
And, you know, I got knocked down because of the money that I donated to my campaign. I've worked very hard. I saved a lot of money to have this big retirement party, and it didn't happen. I wanted it to take that money and invest it into the community, you know, pay it forward. So I loaned myself $20,000. And the good thing about not getting to the election on November 4th, I was able to pay myself $9,000 back. So, you know, I'll put that money into the stocks. I'm going to invest that, and I'm going to have more money for 2027. I'm committed to Lowell, and I honestly believe that I can't ask a constituent or a voter to put their money up and back me up if I don't dig into my own pocket. I'm not one of those politicians, and that's what I am now, that thinks, oh yeah, I'll do all these great things with your money. No, I'm willing to put my money up front. I've worked hard. I saved, I invest, and I'm doing pretty good. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that if you had a PAC or nonprofit, they could invest their money without reporting it and spend as much as they want to move you forward in your campaigning. So there's a lot to learn. For first year, I thought we did a great job. We got 207 votes on 58 less than I needed to make the cut, but I thought we did great. I am still engaged, and I still want to participate in my community, and I'll be at every meeting that I could possibly be at. I also want to take some free time because I did neglect my wife. She actually went to the airport today to get away from me, so.
I think Bobby says it's an opinion show, and I think Rita asked about who I thought was going to win that election, and I think that if I had to say, as far as council's in trouble, and he's a good friend of mine, John Dakota's in trouble, I think. I think Vesna's in trouble. I think McDonough's a winner. That's my opinion. The rest, I think
Now,
McDonough's
on
a
that
winner.
note, we're going to go to
Announcements?
the announcements real quick. I only have like
Oh, thank you.
only have 4 of these. Rita's Party's coming up this Friday, October 3rd, 6 to 9 p.m. Please come hungry. Bring your $10. You can bring $100. I don't think you can bring 1,000, but you can bring whatever
someone
amount
refused it, right?
you want to pay for your ticket. Go right ahead. And
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
neighborhood meetings. Well, actually, take your fancy phone out of your pocket, take a picture of Rita's ticket, and then you'll have your ticket right in your pocket. So take your fancy phone out of your pocket, take a picture of this. Moving right along.
Incidentally, my daughter Kelly made that ticket.
Beautiful job.
Yeah, she did it.
The
She's
Lowell
very
Police
creative.
want you to learn about them, their activities, how they work. They welcome any Tom, Dick, and Mary to come down, and they're going to have a program, a lot of words on this, November, beginning October 8th. So coming up next week, beginning of October 8th, the Lowell Police are going to offer a program. They're going to teach you all about how the Lowell Police, they're not going to teach you how to be a cop. They're going to teach you what the Lowell Police Department does. Sidney Lang, he's having a party, October 8th, Wednesday, October 8th, 5:30 to 7 at Charlie's Pub, 14 Cabot Street. If you take your phone out of your pocket, you put it in camera mode, and you zero in on this guy, it brings you to his website. If you just want to send him a donation, same thing right here. Sidney's a good guy. Good luck. The Bridge Club, they're having their annual party on October 9th, and the tickets are $125 a piece. It's a fundraiser. It's to help the Bridge Club save lives. If you're addicted to anything, they will help you out. They're honoring a woman, her name is Karen Frederick. There's a gal, we need a dozen of these Karen Fredericks.
Yes, no
She grew
doubt.
community teamwork from what it was to helping thousands of people. And she'll be there. Karen, a great servant to our community. And moving right along, we got neighborhood meetings. Whatever neighborhood you live in, there's your neighborhood meetings for the month of October. Thanks to the Lowell Police Department for putting this out there. And that's it on the neighborhood, wherever it is. The next one coming October 6th is 2. South Lowell, they're going to meet at the Butler School. And the Centerville Neighborhood Action Group, CNAG, they're going to meet at the Polish National on October 6th. Eric Gitch is having a party. Let me shrink this up so you can see the whole ticket. Okay. Still not good. Shrink it a little bit more. There we go. Okay, campaign fundraiser Thursday, October 16th, hosted by Ryan Ferreira, Eric Gitchie for City Council at Large at the Wappin Weft, downtown Lowell, 197 Market Street. Donations start at $25 and they go up. And the last announcement of the day, this breakfast is fantastic. It's out at the Tewksbury Senior Center. They got a ton of parking behind the building. When you drive out the Tewksbury Senior Center, you go like, where the hell do I park? Behind the building, they got a bazillion parking spaces.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And the breakfast they have, come hungry. Like going to Rita Mercier's party, come hungry. $10 for adults, and $5 if you bring your grandkids. Great time to have. Mark Crapman's the chief cook and bottle washer on this. And that's my last announcement for the day. Back to you, Tommy.
Tom,
Yes, pal.
getting back to Rita's question about
Yep.
District 3.
Yep.
Corey, it was during the Winterfest, I had to go up to Corey and said, I'm sorry, I can't support you anymore. And it's a tough thing to do because he's a great kid. I like him a lot.
Which Corey?
Corey Belanger.
Oh.
So I love Corey Robinson also because I'm a friend of his dad's. A lot of times you'll support somebody like
associate,
that.
yeah.
But with Corey Belanger, I said, I can't support you anymore because Dan Finn's like family to me. He took in some of my family members to live in his house, his father did. I coached baseball with his dad, and he's a prison guard like I am, okay? So we stick together, prison guards stick together, but if you look at the numbers, he only won by about 30 votes over Corey. He had about 330, and Dan Finn had about 360. You total it up, it's almost 700 votes. The person that got hurt the most was Gendron. She got killed by Belinda Duran. So those numbers are going to be a lot closer than you think, because if you think the people that voted for Corey Belanger are going to vote for Belinda Giron, you're fooling yourself. That's how tight that race is. I'm not going to say she can't win. She looks like she can win. She basically topped the ticket, but I believe she's,
Bobby, you want to read this one?
Belinda has the political class in her back pocket.
yeah.
Can I ask you the
Sure.
second
and the
question?
money.
Go ahead.
I have a second question. Here's another one. I can't know about the district number, I'm not sure. Is it going to be Paul Rathayem or Sidney Liang?
District 7.
Oh, District 7.
Paul Rathayem.
Yeah.
I'm going to predict big win, big
Who-
win.
who?
Paul Rathayem.
I believe it'll be the other guy.
Wow.
Francisco?
I'm thinking Paul is going to win, but it's not going to be a big win. It's going to be very close on. And that win is going to be determined by how much grassroots campaigning he does. He's going to have to go and meet those voters that were not feeling that he put 100% into his job, and he's going to have to go back and say, look, I have the experience, I have the folks that I've worked with, and I have a plan to make the city better than it is, and I need your support.
You served with him, and I only met him once on this show, maybe 2 years ago, Paul Rathayem. You served with him. He seems to be like the nice guy counselor.
He's
The
a
birthday
wonderful-
cards.
yeah.
The always seems like a soft voice. Always.
He's very soothing, but he does so much
Yeah.
for his
And
community.
non-controversial.
Very
nice.
conscientious.
That's why I think he's
But
only a
an
slut.
issue can hurt you, and if you look at Corey Belanger, he was appointed by the city council.
that hurt him,
When we all wanted to vote.
Yeah.
And at that time, that was the issue I think
So
that hurt him.
can I explain why I didn't start this, but I felt like I did. I honestly, firmly believe that it should have been up to the voters, and that's in the back of my mind. But then you got to take all the factors and put them all together and then make a decision. When this was the clincher, when John Dakota got Greg Pappas up as the election commissioner to say, can we do it? Do you have time? My decision was based on him, because we had the right to do what we did. We didn't do anything illegal. I wanted it to go to the voters, but when Greg Pappas got up there and he said, to be honest with you, I'm going to have a hard time. Time is of the essence. I don't have the help. We don't have much money to do this. We have a presidential election, and it's going to be tough. I said, I'm not going to burden a department head like that. I will
I bet
not.
if you sat him here now, the election commission guy, he would tell you he had enough time.
The new guy.
But at that time,
I
he
only
said he
went by
didn't.
what he said,
I don't blame
and I voted the way that I voted. Now, I was first to vote. I never picked up the phone, I swear to God. One thing you can say about me, she doesn't lie. I tell the truth, whether it hurts me, I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you like I feel. And I'm not saying I'm right, never say that. I'm not always right, but I have to live with myself. I never picked up that phone and said, hey, Kim, vote for Corey Belanger. Hey, Tom, vote for Corey. I never said that.
Did others do it?
Well, I don't know what they did. I only know what I did, and I did none of that.
The shenanigans that are going to happen on election night will be the shenanigans about the mayor.
Oh, well,
These guys, they just won.
Oh, it's always that boy, yeah.
And they're like, can we vote for the mayor? Vote for the mayor? Instantly.
Yeah.
Rita Mercier's the
that's
only
why
one
that should have been up to the
Rita's the only
voters.
one who actually enjoys her reelection party. She'll sit there with her friends
Yeah, I-
over the top donut. We have a
Donut
wonderful
shop.
time.
There's
A
no
lot of-
booze.
Real quick,
I never drank anyway.
I see her phone ring, and they're asking for her vote for mayor.
Yeah, he's
And
right.
they're not even sworn in yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
you know, and getting back
You?
to Paul at the two
Good.
things that I see, and don't forget, I was out of this for a month, but the two things I remember is, once was the Smith Baker Center. He entered that a little bit shady, with a group of people that wanted to buy it. But he also, the other guy has Young Ju Chow as one of his biggest pushes
Yes.
in
yeah.
7, in
CBA.
District 7. And she carries a lot of weight in that district.
And I hear she wants to be city manager someday.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, that's what I heard from many
Well, not to
people.
interrupt you, but
Yeah.
Rita has 3 minutes here, so wait.
Go ahead,
Want to
Rita.
close out, Rita?
Oh.
Ask the voters.
Well, thank you very much, McD, for letting me come on the
Rita,
program.
I'd
It's
love to
such
have you anytime you
handsome
can.
Gentleman here.
Next time she's bringing her slideshow from
And
Greece.
I'm glad you
Oh,
came
yeah.
to the best show, Tuesday shows. We always see her on Wednesday. When my son said to me, you're going to be on tomorrow, I said, no, she always goes on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I said, my son Timmy told me you told me.
Oh,
to be on.
yes, yes. I'll be with your father. I hope he doesn't ask me tough questions. He's a great guy.
Yeah,
You're
I'm
going to be
blessed. I'm
proud.
blessed.
Yes,
I'm
you are
I'm
blessed.
blessed with all three. You know,
So
it's-
I was blessed this morning to be in the presence of 4 handsome gentlemen, well, really 5, and 1 left, but thank you so much. I'm just so honored, and
Well, good luck to you.
thank you
You
for your
don't need
votes.
the luck.
Thank
You don't
You'll
need
be
it. but
fine.
good
You got-
luck and-
Yeah,
You
can
got
I-
my vote.
I'm going to say one thing. I am not a religious fanatic, but I love God, and I pray to Him, and I prayed for you,
Oh, I hear
and
you.
I thank Him every night that you came back to us.
I'm not religious either, but I had a grandmother that forced me up Lawrence Street in Andrews for years to go to Sacred Heart
Yes.
Church and listen to Latin. I never could catch on to it. But I believe, no, my uncle was, I believe in God, and that's all I believe in.
Yeah, but you can't do it without Him. I'm
Oh, yeah.
sorry, that's how I feel.
I
But
feel the same
He
way.
listened to me, He listened to me.
There's definitely a
Here
God.
you are. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, thank you. All right,
Hey, I'm with that chair.
all right, here we go. Thank you so much.
Want me to just sit where Rita was? I'll take
Yep.
up the shot.
Yep. See it. Bye-bye. You got it.
Now we can talk about Rita, she's gone. So if you have any questions about Rita, send them in, we got the scoop. No, I like Rita, and like I just said, I am going to vote for her. And I think she adds a lot to council, especially the years of being there, and I think you need some of that knowledge.
And generally a nice person.
In general,
she's
a nice
like, you know,
person, yeah.
I think she's one of those counselors, like we talked about Dougie Willetta, selectman out in Drake years ago. You could call her at 2 in the morning and she'd answer your call and do whatever she can for you, you know what I mean? And so, Bobby, you've already said you're in the race, school committee race to stay.
Yes, sir, yeah.
It seems like there's some waves being made now with Liam Skinner with the present school committee. Unfortunately, like I say, I've never met Liam
I
Skinner,
haven't.
all I've heard but nothing but good things about him, but it's unfortunate if we run another superintendent out of Lowell. I'm not saying that's going to happen.
Can you polish these off before we get too far down?
Sure. It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter that much who is on the council. The state is funding Lowell to the tune of 70%. If the state wants high-rise apartment buildings on the RR railroad tracks with no parking, the council will deliver. Paul Yem helped me with a city problem. He keeps my vote, so.
Back to you.
So, yeah, Bobby, do you think there's an issue here with the school committee with Liam Skinner?
Well, I think there is, if you look back when Danny came in with a motion to hire Liam Skinner, you had 4 people that were talking about searching the world for a
Right,
new superintendent.
Right,
And the one that caved was my friend Dominic Lay.
right,
He came back to give Danny the vote that he needed.
sure.
And I thought it was Dominic Lay's best vote. Principle-wise, I mean, I've been involved in this for over a quarter of a century. I've never met a better principal than Liam Skinner. That's what got him into that job.
Yeah, I've heard nothing.
Discipline, his schools were always in the top classiest acts. If you went to the K-Stock Losa, if you remember her,
Yeah,
they
Kay
had
was-
a
I
thing
knew
they
Kay
called
well.
the Knowledge Bowl.
Yep,
Every year when I was around on the school committee for the 7 years I was, Liam Skinner's team always won.
right.
The kids came in suit and ties, the girls came in dresses. Then all of a sudden, the Wangs started to win once in a while. But the biggest thing to me on the school committee was, there's one gone now, I won't mention names anymore, but all she did was try to get rid of Jim Hall. And Jim Hall has saved us all a bunch of money, millions over the years. He negotiates our contracts, and up against Paul George's was never an easy task. And Jim always come out on top as far as I'm concerned. To me, he could run any school in the state, Jim Hall could. He don't want that job. Why be number one? He's only getting a few thousand less to be number two. Liam's got a tough job. You're never going to make people happy in this city when it comes to the superintendent.
No.
Look at how many they fired.
That's what I'm saying. Man, it's just,
All right, go to
it's
Dr.
unbelievable.
Kafawi.
Yeah.
That was the biggest scam I ever
back
seen
to-
in my life.
Hey, go
You
back
know
to
why they
Chris
got rid
Scott.
of him? But Kafawi, they got rid of him. You got a $250 million budget, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think you can find a problem in any budget that's $250 million? They went after him because he mentioned maintenance of effort.
Yep. You talk about
That's
that all
why
the
they
time.
got rid of him. Yeah, but that's it.
Don't fool around with our money. Third rail.
Oh, yeah, and he opened his mouth about that. I was on the subcommittee with Steve Genvin, Bob Gignac, and myself, and we kind of dumped all over Kevin Murphy. It wasn't Kevin Murphy's fault, but Kevin got a little upset over everything, but there's no doubt that's why they run him out of town. Don't mention the maintenance of effort. It's about $50 million the city charges the schools. We basically, they're our landlord, and don't ask questions about that money. But I know what will happen. We got the best city council there is right now. Right now, I like Rita. Rita's a great city councilor. But there's nobody in my eyes that can touch Eric Gitchie. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. You should see what, if the kids could vote, they said this about me one time, Cisco. Mike Gallagher was the school committee person that left before I run. He got 2,500 signatures for the school committee seat. 2,500 signatures, Mike Gallagher. He only did 2 terms, caused a lot of paperwork for the system. Some people say he bogged it down. But to me, Mike Gallagher was a great guy. Great family, great guy. Bailed out. I said, "You think I could win?" He goes, "Yeah," and the Lowell Sun put an article, half-a-page article. If the kids could vote, Hoey would win in a landslide. I had a free article, half-a-page article free. And I say the same thing about this Eric Gitchie. I know what he does for the kids at the Great Lowell Technical High School. Amazing. Someday just go out and watch him. I never seen no one like him. And every time I call, he answers in 5 minutes. 5 seconds. And he responds to anything I ask him. I try not to call him anymore because I know I'm a pain in the neck. But we're lucky to have
He's
him.
another council that, and I always find, he reminds me, like I say, of our selectman out in Drake at Josh Taylor. He's not afraid to ask the tough questions and grill people, and he doesn't care, but then he doesn't keep it, he doesn't like hold the grudge, Eric, it seems, you know what I mean?
He does his
No.
he does his homework too.
Yeah.
He'll go into a meeting with good knowledge and he supports his decision making.
You think there's a group that wants to get rid of him? I believe that.
Yeah?
Oh no, I agree.
Yeah.
He's not the majority voter for the city council right now.
No.
And I'm going to be saying thank you to so many people in the next few weeks that I couldn't do it on this show alone. But Eric Gitchie, Dave Daly, they were very big for my recovery also.
Good.
So thank you.
Good.
Now, what's your opinion on the decision for them to go forward with the no to injection sites? Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not for them. Someone I liked a lot, Ed Kennedy, he was for them, I believe. But I want to just get back to one quick thing about Markley is tonight. They got a meeting at inside the chambers that you can go. You don't have to register to speak, but you can go down there and they're going to let you speak. It's a subcommittee meeting. But to me, Kim Scott has really came to bat for that one.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
came out and did a tremendous job.
The one
She
thing,
should win re-election handily.
Oh, I
Yeah.
I
think
mean,
so,
I mean, I really thought the girl was being on the show here. I thought she was going to do more as far as campaigning, but you know, Kim Scott should win re-election.
Yeah, every year she seems to get a challenge.
John, you said earlier that and I'm going to forget his name again. Cisco. Who's running against Sean Dakota? What's his name?
Marcos Candido.
Marcos Candido.
Marcos
You say
has a
the machine behind him. He has a machine
Yeah,
behind
yeah,
him.
yeah. But my
Marcos has a
issue,
bucket load of problems because Frascarelli, the guy who does the morning
Yeah.
show on WCB, Gary Francis. And he's come up with this thing that this kiddo hasn't lived in the city for a year.
Yeah. Well, I know one
He's
thing.
pushing on the radio, so he put into my ear that he was going to be in touch with the guy who runs the election office.
So
my
let me
thing
say
is-
this, let me say this, because
Well, there's no.
it's an opinion show, correct?
Yeah,
You go right ahead.
I know John Dakota pretty well, and there's no way he's happier now than running against you. He didn't want to run against you, I'm telling you right now. I know enough about the city that he's happier running against the person he's running against now.
He hasn't lived in the city for a year, is that what you said, John?
That's what Frascarelli's putting out there.
But,
Yeah.
but is there a,
There
when
is
can
a
you move-
requirement. You have to have residency in the district for a year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, Marcos came back from the research that I've done myself. He came back to Lowell in January of 2025. He was out in Baltimore. He was a student, and I thought when we were campaigning he was still a student. But he graduated in 2022 and took a full-time job out there, was employed, had a Baltimore license from what I've been told, and also his credit cards, which he used, which got me on the search pattern, was when I went to his OCPF and I looked at who was donating to his campaign, and I noticed that he donated to himself with an address out of Baltimore. And I looked into that address, and that address was up for lease in February of 2025. So he did vote in November in Lowell, which is fine, but the residency isn't still met. Even if he voted in November, I know he didn't vote the last local because I have that list. So he didn't vote in 2023, which would give him the year residency. He voted in 2024 in November for president, but
in Massachusetts?
in
Lowell?
Massachusetts.
In Lowell?
In Lowell, yes.
All right.
No, are you sure it wasn't a mail-in ballot?
Yeah, but he still voted.
I understand. Was it a mail-in? Do you know
I'm not
physically?
sure exactly.
Understood, thanks.
The
Thank you.
process.
You know,
But I know
They're going on the same.
he voted. He voted in November of 2024.
So they're going with the same thing with what's his name? Your friend of the school committee. I'm going blank. They challenged his residency.
Yeah, Dominic Lay.
Dominic Lay.
Oh, okay.
The city
Yeah.
doesn't think there's a
When
duty.
they don't like him.
The city doesn't think that they have a duty to prove residency.
Yeah.
And that's the Democratic stance. We will not ask for ID. You can go in there, pull papers for King Kong. I live up at 1684 Gorham Street, Lowell, Massachusetts, and they'll put you on the ballot if you get the signatures.
That's what I'm saying. If I move to Drake, if I move to Lowell, let's say next summer, and I have to have a
You-
year's residence before I can run out of district.
You can
And they
ask-
don't check that when I
You
file
can
my
ask,
papers.
you can ask the Golden Man, what are the requirements for residency? And he'll say, I don't know. Francisco, what are the requirements for residency officially in Lowell, Massachusetts? I bet you don't know.
For jobs or for the candidacy?
For candidacy.
You have to be a resident for a year in the district.
And how do you prove that?
You would prove it with utility bills?
No, the city won't ask for any
Oh,
written
no,
proof.
they didn't verify.
That's my point.
But they're responsible. If you read the charter, they're ultimately responsible to.
Don't read the charter. Don't read the charter.
But Francisco, what I'm saying is, if a year ago I moved to Lowell, District 7, let's say use District 7.
Tommy, you live here upstairs.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, I run, when I walk in, if she say to me, you haven't lived in the city long enough to run for council, shouldn't they be saying that, the election commission officers?
Shouldn't you have to whip out your driver's license and prove where you live?
Yeah, but what if I show you I'm living at 14 Highland, wherever this address is, and I prove that I'm living here, but I haven't lived here for a year? Shouldn't they be telling me I can't run because I haven't been living here for a year?
No, if you have proof of residency here, just because I live in Hampton Beach doesn't mean my official residence is still here. Like, people talk about Ed Markey. Where's his official residence? Maryland or Massachusetts? He lives more in Maryland than he lives in Massachusetts.
Right.
But his official residence is in the Democrats'
Malden,
mind, in
whatever,
the
yeah.
Democratic mind is Massachusetts.
It should be bona fide on residency, meaning that you have to be engaged in the community that you're running to
We
support.
got to define, okay,
or
Cisco,
represent.
define, how do you bonify your residency?
You're engaged in the community. You go to, I don't know, businesses in the community. You attend on church. Your mail's received in that community. You pay bills. You're involved in.
Well, that requirement's never going to happen in Massachusetts.
No.
Do you think it'll ever happen in Lowell?
I hope they do, because I mean we're having
I
elections.
hope you win the lottery. Do you think that'll ever happen in Lowell, Bob?
No.
Tom, do you think it'll ever happen in Lowell?
No, unfortunately, no.
The corruption will continue.
Yeah.
They hate that word. Corruption. We're not corrupt. Yes, you are.
Do you know if, is Dakota making a challenge to this? Has anybody heard? Or is this just for us?
No,
You say Gary can make stories up. I mean, is he?
Yeah, well,
is this-
Gary lies about me.
Yeah.
Gary told Rita Mercier that I said something about the senior center that was not true. Gary's just making stuff up. But
No, he came on here one day and said that Jerry Nutter was fired. It wasn't that. He was on vacation. 'Cause I heard it from
I
Fresco
never, I
early.
never talked to John Dakota about this race, but I just know that Cisco was running a great campaign, and he was worried about Cisco.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that's what he was worried about.
I thought, and the numbers show that. We got 207 votes. He got 58 more votes for an incumbent, and even with the small turnout, that's still, that's like a third of the votes that were casted and 714, I think, was the total number of votes.
And Bob, you say it's an
Like-
opinion show all the time.
Yeah.
Why do you think Paul Rethiem's in trouble? Because of the
I
issue with
just
the.
believe, the Smith Baker Center,
Okay.
I think that deal there might have just touched off a few people.
Yeah.
Because a large majority want it torn down.
Well, people can dump all over Paul Rathiem. I see him a little bit of a rubber stamp for the city manager.
Yeah.
Not 100%, but he's a rubber stamp for the city manager. But this new guy that he's running against, what's he done? I know the guy because he has a show on LTC. We wave at one another, but that's the extent of our friendship.
Yeah.
Paul Rathiem, when you call Paul Rathiem, he'll help you.
I can say something very positive about him when it comes to veterans signs all around the city. He put some of his own money, around 16 grand up, to make sure there was wreaths on every corner. So, I mean, I'm not saying Paul Rathiem hasn't done something good, but they only look, people are very forgetful. 2 years, every election, all you got to do is make one mistake, and that's it. Now, as far as my race goes, I'm in the citywide race for the school committee. When I was at Corey Robinson's party over on Coben Street, Zoe, I can't pronounce her last name.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Very nice person.
Yeah.
She come up to me and she says, I'd love to run for the school committee in this district, but I like Ellen DeRossi, and I don't want to run against her because I like her. I says, well, why don't you run citywide like I am? Because I just know Danielle McFadden's going to top the ticket. It's real simple.
Yep.
She's going to top the ticket, so it's Miss CTI, Connie Martin, up against Zoe and myself. And I think I got a better chance of knocking Connie off than Zoe does, and that's why I'm staying in the race. So,
John, do you think it's my opinion again? Like I like when Bob says that. I think the city manager has a 9-2 rubber stamp. 9 councils are his rubber stamps. There's only 2 that will, and that's Robinson and Getchia.
Yeah.
The lady that left here.
Tommy, 100%. Tommy, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of rubber stamp people because he's got jobs for people. He's got jobs. And Tommy Byrne put that into my head 1,000 years ago. He says, the 2 big people in town, used to be 3. When Dr. Wang was around, that was the 3rd one. They have jobs. The person who runs UMass Lowell, they have blisters on their behind because they have jobs. The guy or gal who runs the city of Lowell has blisters on their behind because they have jobs to give out. And those are the 2 big power features that those 2 characters have.
If you want to see a door that's kicked down for jobs, you're going to see the superintendent of schools.
Yeah.
Well, how that works is simply this. Superintendent, Mr. Superintendent, I need a job real bad. Okay. He'll call down to Malden. Hey, Malden, can you give McDonough a job? Yeah, but you got to give Maldonado a job. Okay, send Maldonado up here. I'll give him a job. I'm sending McDonough down to you. That's how it's done in the school system.
I also think one of the issues as far as why this council could be in trouble is that trip to Switzerland. I don't want to say when Rita was here, but I think that could hurt some of them too, the trip to Switzerland.
Well, on the Rita trip, okay, Rita was already on her own dime, on vacation, with her daughter in Greece, and the administration said, oh, Rita, you got to go to Switzerland. So she cut her vacation in Greece short and flew to
Switzerland, yeah.
Sweden, wherever they went.
Yeah, Geneva.
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 Is it Switzerland?
Switzerland, yes.
Yeah.
She flew to Switzerland and spent time with them, cut her out of her own vacation time. I don't know anybody else who cut her out of her own vacation time to do that.
Right.
But Rita loves the city more than I do.
John, and I seen the pictures of her in Greece. She looked much happier than she was in
Yeah. Good
Geneva.
point.
Much happier.
You know,
much happier.
I do know why Rita's a little nervous. You've heard her. She's nervous. She's worried about that race.
Right.
And if I looked at all issues, what's the issue she's scared about? She's the one that gave the city manager the contract.
Yeah.
The big one. So that's in the back of her mind, but she'll never be bumped out of the top three. Worst case scenario, she'll be third.
Do you think in
She'll be
Belvedere she
second.
could be hurt because of the special election not being held? Remember, we were talking about the calling from.
She came in second last time, and that's over that issue, the ADU issue.
Yeah.
And I believe she'll come in second again.
Yeah.
Really, I do.
Yeah.
But if any issue hurt it a little bit, it would be giving the city manager that big contract.
Yeah.
So we get to vote for 3 at large.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's 3 votes there. People are going to look at the incumbents, and I think they favor the incumbents. That's just the human nature of voting. I think that the incumbents have the upper hand. Unless there's something that motivates the non-voters that don't come out for locals, I think the incumbents have the upper hand at large.
You know,
And by and large, you
At
think?
large, yes.
Yeah. I think that, I'll say it again, I think this McDonough kid's a winner. I think if I had to say
I
pick
don't know.
one,
I don't know.
No.
Janessa's really come alive in the
he's still
last.
staying in downtown. You see, at least
Yeah.
they're finally seeing a councilor up in this area.
Well, Sean will do well if the young Gen Z, get engaged and actually make it to the polls. I think he'll do well. But that's one thing we didn't see at the primaries, was there was a lot of younger folks engaged that went out and voted. So I think that's still going to
But he's campaigning up in this area,
in
meaning up
November.
back
Yeah.
Central
Oh,
Street,
yeah, he's
where this
done
guy-
very well
where
up
Jan- yeah,
in
he's
back
doing-
central.
Okay, what do you got? Shouldn't all candidates have to run citywide? That would stop some candidates from winning without running. Shouldn't all candidates have to run citywide?
That's the way we used to do it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the way we used to do it.
There was
Go
a-
back.
The big tug of war, yelling and screaming, and they changed it to neighborhood or district city councilors. And that is the understood law in Lowell now.
And all incumbent school committee districts are unopposed, right? The district races, are they all
Yeah.
unopposed? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
But if you look at the race Cisco run, I think you did a great job, by the way.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And that's why I know I have one sign. I need to get about 40 more signs out. If anybody's looking for one of my signs, give me a buzz. You can get me through this place. But I look for the Spanish vote because it has increased in the city. There's no doubt about it. I got a sign on Clark Road in a Spanish kid's house, right near Ed Kennedy's house. I've gotten at least 20 phone calls, about 20, I think it was. What do you got a sign in there for? You should take that sign down. Listen, I don't care who wants my sign. If someone calls me for a sign, they're getting one. But there's the group of people that do not like this guy on Clark Road.
Okay.
But then the Luna family. I'm hoping to get all the Luna family to vote for me.
Can't do better.
Yeah, that's right. They take you to the moon and back.
Yes.
So, no, but I believe that. How many Spanish people have been running in this for city council? You?
Yeah, we had 3 candidates that have Latin blood in them.
That's going to mean a lot. It's going to mean a lot. Because I don't believe before you ever came out, those people weren't voting. That's how I feel. It's just an opinion, Joe.
I hope that, and I thought we would get more engaged response. I didn't see that at the preliminary. Very hard to gauge that because of the fact that the preliminary people aren't normally voting during September, so they're not aware of it. And like John said earlier, there was not a lot of effort from the city to get notice out that there was a preliminary election on September 9th, right? So I don't know. I hope they're engaged. We've been trying very hard to get them engaged. And anyone out there that thinks that local politics doesn't affect them is wrong. It's the most direct connection that you have to tax money that you're paying for. And the most effect in your life is locally. That's the money that maintains the roads in front of you, maintains the school. They determine your taxes. So you need to be engaged. You need to vote locally. That's important here in Lowell. 10% is not enough.
But primaries, I know history that candidates have done terrible in the primaries, and I can give you an example, going to the Wayback Machine. There was a city councilor back in the 70s, a good friend of mine, Brian Delaney, has since passed. Brian was his councilor. First time he ran, he finished 12th in the primary, finished 8th in the election. Second time he ran, 75, finished 16th in the primary, came back to finish 9th. So it's a different time when people
you
are.
never know.
You never know.
How about Kerry Bomil
Yeah.
getting promoted to sergeant?
Oh,
with
yeah.
Police force.
Congratulations. She
Yeah,
fought for that
she's-
promotion very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so happy for her. Yeah.
I mean,
You're related, right?
Yeah, that's my.
we
that's my
need more
cousin's, daughter.
we need more women in positions of power, and it's very difficult for police officers, male police officers, to give the woman a fair shake. I think today, with all the tools that police officers have, I think anyone that goes into the career that isn't one of these heavy-handed person can be successful. And there's a lot of tools to help them get through those situations where you need to use force to get something resolved.
John, you'll like this. My wife and I left the house to go vote up at the Pine School. We go up to the rear of it to vote, and there was another couple coming out of the school, and I stopped them and I said, "Hi, my name ain't on the ballot today, but November 4th I'm on there for the school committee." And the woman said to me, "I would never vote for a prison guard." Honest to God. So she must be watching the show. She must be. My wife was devastated by that. I said, "Michelle, don't worry about that type of stuff."
Bobby, I got the same response on that. Veteran status doesn't matter. That 29 years as a police officer doesn't matter. And the negative response for me being a police officer was it was a lot more than I thought. Definitely, there's a lot of people out there that think law enforcement is bad and we're evil. Unfortunately, you need law enforcement.
There are some evil ones, but not you.
If you don't have law enforcement, you don't have a community that's going to be safe.
Exactly. And you say about, I tell this story all the time. I ran for the Housing Authority out in Drake in 2020. I ran for free elections past year. And my neighbor, Dave Moran, who leaves at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's dark when he goes to work. He comes home, it's dark. And we've had Saturday voting, like Bob said. He never votes. He went out and voted for me that election. I says, "I'm glad you're voting, Dave." He says, "When are you running again? 5 years?" "Well, that's the next time you'll see me." It's just because my neighbor, he wouldn't have voted in that. Like, people don't vote, and it's just, it's their right. And
Well, no, Tommy, I still say, send me a goddamn text message. That's all I want you to do. Send me a goddamn text message. You have no trouble telling me Uncle Tanous is walking down Gorham Street at 3 o'clock in the morning and he's missing. with a purple hat on and no pants, why can't you send me a text?
Well, maybe some of these progressive, if these new councilors get in, they'll do this. Maybe, I don't know, is it a money issue? I don't know. Rita really didn't get into
Well,
it.
one thing I noticed while I was doing campaigning and looking into some of the stuff that I was unhappy with the city on was the digital infrastructure in Lowell is awful, awful. Their website is so outdated. And I
Whose
would say
website? The city?
The city
Yeah.
out, yes.
Oh, no,
There's
we
a
have
lot of things that
A
are
wonderful
outdated.
IT guy.
And I would think that is part of the Texan issue, that we need probably more help in digital infrastructure for the city, or we need a better infrastructure, digital infrastructure. for the
Tomorrow's City Life, Linda Bound's the host. Town manager from Tingsboro, Colin Loisel, he's going to be here. And Eric Gitchie is going to be here running citywide for city council.
And
current city
John, I
council.
think maybe from now till the election, when if we get council candidates on, we should ask them, would you propose this texting or phone call?
Yep,
See if
that's
they would
what I'm
it.
going to do. I'm
That's a
going to
good
lean
idea.
on him.
You know, I want to throw out a couple more names and thank them for being so
Yeah,
supportive of
Bobby's got the
mine.
last minute.
John Zimini, Evelyn Thorin, thank you so much. One time, Cisco, I was pulled over by a cop for speeding on Boylston Street, and he asked me license and registration. On the way back to his car, I goes, my favorite two cops are Mike Kilmartin and Timmy Golden. He comes back in and throws the license at me. He was really mad. He goes, I don't like people that throw out names, but I'm gonna let you go this time with a warning. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you, Cisco, for coming on.
Oh, thank you
Glad
for
to see
having
more of
me.
you.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Glad
it's
to
nice
see you.
having
Bobby,
you,
glad
yeah.
to see you back and
Yeah.
to get back to the swing of things. You got.
I lost
you
city
got
council 3 times, buddy. It's not
You've
easy
got
to
a month
win.
to go after, as of what is it?
Say goodbye, guys.
Yeah, I got
Good night,
a lot of
everybody.
work to do in the
Hey, we'll
next
see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
couple of weeks.
All right,
for
good
watching.
night. All right, goodbye.